Okay, so I wanted to go through and read the story about Yakub, the black scientist that created white people. I know the first time I heard about this, I remember I was a kid and my dad listened to Farrakhan like constantly all the time. So much to the point where I didn't know if I was Christian or if I was Muslim. To be honest, I didn't know which one, but my dad considers himself to be Christian, but he always listened to Farrakhan. And I remember as a kid, he told me about the story of Yakub. And being a child, I really didn't understand at the time what he was talking about. As I got older, I went through, did some research. There's like a ton of videos on YouTube that go into detail about the Yakub story. I remember the one that I sat down and watched. It was actually a pretty long video, maybe like an hour and a half. It's an animated creation talking about the Yakub story. But I just kind of wanted to go back and dive into it and do a little reading to see if there's anything else about it. Because I've really been thinking about this 6,000 year prophecy that people have been talking about, all over YouTube. People are saying that, white people were only given 6,000 years to roam the planet. So I just kind of want to go through and, kind of do my own research about it. Now, I'm on a website called Africans Press. It says here that it's news from South Sudan. Wow. From South Sudan. It was published on September 27, 2016. So I just kind of wanted to read over this and see what information they have. It says September 26, 2016. Elijah Muhammad of the Nation of Islam wrote a book titled The Father of Mankind. In the book, he teaches that the white race was created by an evil scientist named Yakub. Now, the reason I've been thinking so much about Yakub because, we all know that the letter J didn't come into existence until like the 1500s. So my thing is, like the name Jesus would be like Jesus or Jesus. I'm thinking Jesus would be more of the pronunciation. But like, what if Yakub would actually be Jacob of the Bible? Now, I'm not a big Bible person. I don't know all the stories like the back of my hand. I don't know verses like that. But I thought about it, Jacob. What if Yakub was Jacob? I mean, it's just a thought. Yakub set out to create a group of people opposite from his own. According to the story of Yakub, the first white man appeared only about 6,000 years ago on the island of Patmos in the Aegean Sea after a 600-year breeding process called grafting. Yakub's mother and father died when he was 5 years old, so he was raised by his uncle. Yakub was emotionally disturbed and rebellious. He was teased in school because of his extremely large head. He was given a nickname, the Big Head Scientist, because he was smarter than his peers. At age 6, Yakub was in his uncle's backyard playing with two magnets. He noticed the power of attraction. Unlike attracts and like repels. He then told his uncle, "When I get to be an older man, I'm going to make people to rule you." His uncle replied, "Yakub, do you not know that if you make another man other than the original man, who is already here on planet Earth, you will be making the devil himself?" Yakub replied, "Nevertheless, I know that which you know not." By the age of 18, Yakub graduated from the colleges and universities of his nation, 20 miles outside of present-day Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Yakub began to teach his doctrine called trichnology. His holy book was called the Book of Trichnology, of 120 degrees. He told his followers if they follow his doctrine, they could rule the world for 6,000 years and make slaves of everyone else. Yaqub's large following and teachings began to intimidate the king of his nation. So he was put in jail. Yaqub and the king made a deal while he was in jail. The deal was for the king to give him and his followers everything they needed to start their own civilization and leave their current land. Yaqub and his 59,999 followers moved to the island of Patmos in the Aegean Sea. There he formed his government headed with a nurse, doctor, priest, and cremator. According to the Final Call, the Nation of Islam's official newspaper, the blacks who came with Yaqub to the island were placed under a system of laws by which mating was based on skin color, and only lighter, complex babies were allowed to survive. Over the course of many generations, the population of Patmos began to grow lighter and lighter until after 600 years of this dedicated grafting process, the people became very pale with blue eyes and blonde hair. 95% of Yaqub's followers discovered that this grafting process included killing people, so they lost loyalty to his mission. Yaqub had intense hatred in his heart and died of a brain tumor at the age of 150. His remaining followers carried on his mission. Of the 600-year process, it took 200 years to create the Ruboid, red man, 200 years to create the Cictroid, yellow man, and the final 200 years to create the Albinoid, white man. The Albinoids returned to Yaqub's childhood home 20 miles outside of Mecca. It only took them 6 months to cause chaos in the lands. The Albinoids were stripped of their clothing, dressed in aprons, and sent to cross the hot desert and go into Europe to live. So these are the images of those people. The Albinoids stayed in the Caucasus Mountains and caves for 2,000 years. There they became savage, moralless, shameless, and psychopathic. They started to walk on their hands and knees like animals and eat raw meat. They even ate each other and their babies. The Albinoids tamed the wolf to live with them in the caves. The wolf became the dog, which then became their best friend. Moses was sent to Europe to civilize the Albinoids. Once they were out of their caves, they went on a rampage throughout the earth, and Yaqub's 6,000 rule came into effect. They caused chaos and destruction everywhere they went. Wow. So I guess I don't know. I guess it's all about what you believe in. I personally, because Yaqub's story says that, white people were grafted from black people, I don't know about that. I have mixed feelings about that. I understand the whole out of Africa theory and, the fact that they, weren't in sunlight, so they lost melanin over a period of time. That's just something I don't get, because the reason I don't feel like they come from Africans or black people is because what about the facial structure? The whole structure of their face just does not match our facial structure. Like, I can look at Asians or like people from the Philippines. I can look at the Chinese. Okay, sorry about that. I had to go and fix one of my kids' plate to eat. But yeah. I don't know where white people come from, to be honest. I can look at all other races and I can tell that they're African descendants. But, with white people, I just don't see it. So until somebody comes up with something better, I have no idea where they come from. I don't believe in. I don't think the Yakub story is accurate. I mean, but that's just my personal opinion. So yeah, if you have any input, maybe know more information about the Yakub story, you can break it down further to me to prove to me that this has some bit of truth to it. Or if you are like me, you feel like that it's just no way possible because the facial features just aren't there. Um, you know, leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.